How did the housing market wrap up for 2024 for the city of Fond du Lac? Well, let's take a look at December and find out. First of all, I like to talk about how competitive the market was. And the reason I cover that stat is so that buyers and sellers can set realistic expectations when they participate in the market to understand what's going on. So how many houses sold under asking price, at asking price, or over asking price? So to start, 41% sold under asking price, and that is actually the biggest group of all of them. So selling under was the most dominant category. 24% sold at asking price, and 34% sold above asking price. That extra 1%, if you double check my math and you're like, that only adds up to 99. Well, that 1% was distributed pretty evenly across the rest. How much over did these houses sell for? So that 34% that went over, 2 to 10K over was the norm. It's not that we saw 30K over or 25K over. So as a seller, if you're wondering how much over to expect, if you're gonna go over, or a buyer, how much over should I offer? Well, I can tell you for December that 2 to 10K over was the norm. Last of all, I like to talk about the most active price point, just to know if there was a very hot price point that's maybe more competitive than the others. But for the month of December, it was pretty even. 100s, 200s, and 300s saw similar things. In those price points, it was where 55 to 66% of them, those sold at or over. And then there was only one house that sold over the 300s, and that one sold under asking price. Next, let's talk about how fast the market was. At what pace were houses accepting offers? The reason I like to talk about this is also for sellers to understand what to expect, and buyers as well. So for the month of December, of those that sold, accepting an offer within 1 week was the most dominant category. And 86% of houses that sold in December accepted an offer in around 1 month or less. So if a house has been on the market, or you have been on the market for more than 1 month, you really need to dig a bit deeper and figure out, is it my price? Is it my condition? Is it my location? What's going on here? Because I am not in that 86%. Then how many houses are taking price reductions? For the month of December, of those that sold, it was 28% of them. So a little over a quarter, and that was pretty even across price points. What's the inventory situation? How many total houses are on the market right now? Well, when I ran the data today, it was 73. And this is up about 20-ish houses for this time of year from the past couple years. So that means there is more for buyers to choose from. So buyers, woohoo, more to choose from, and sellers understand that there is more for buyers to choose from. What about houses available versus under contract? There are more homes available to choose from than that are under contract by a slight margin. It was around 56%. Of these houses that have been on the market that are fully available, something to note is that only about a quarter of them are fresh inventory. And by that I mean only about a quarter of them have been on the market for 2 weeks or less. So we are seeing 3/4 of those sitting. So again, for the 3/4 sitting, if you don't get an offer in the next couple weeks within that month's time, take a look. Is it price? Is it condition? Is it location? What's going on there? Because longer days on market typically equate to less money, less bidding wars, and that's something for both buyers and sellers to understand. Next, we're going to talk about affordability and what was the median home price for December and how's it trending. So it was around 213K, and this has remained steady all of 2024, being in the low 200s, and that's what we will likely continue to see. Then I also want to talk about what can you get for $213,000 in the city of Fond du Lac. So The example from December that sold for $212,600 was 258 East Scott, and I'll pull up some of the pictures here of the kitchen and the bath so you can see them. But this was built in 1940. It was a ranch, a 3-bed, 1-bath, did not have a garage, and then 1,148 square feet. That's all above grade, nothing finished in the basement. Acreage, 0.17 acres, pretty standard city lot. And then it's flipped. It's fully modern. So smaller home, but modern home. And again, that was located at 258 East Scott Street. I like to follow up talking about median home price with the mortgage calculator so you can see what that would cost you approximately. So $213,000, if you put 5% down, that's $10,650. We are looking at interest rates in the 6s, the upper 6s right now. Being in the 6s will probably be around for the foreseeable future here. And a 30-year loan, which is standard, that is a payment of $1,319. So $1,319.17, and that is just your principal and your interest. So you might have PMI, you might have taxes, insurance, all those things added on top of there. It also varies if you put down more or less, as well as your interest rate could vary. You want to get your details from your lender. This is just a rough to give you an idea that around $1,300 is a median home price payment right now. Now I'm going to let you see the two ends of the spectrum for the city of Fond du Lac, the low end and the high end, and what those look like. So in the month of December, the low end, I dropped off the bottom couple because they weren't even livable. But the one that was 242 North Lincoln sold for $100K. This was built in 1900. It's a 1.5 story, 2-bed, 1-bath, 1-car garage, small home, 924 square feet on 0.16 acres, pretty standard city lot. It's updated in its bathroom. It has some updated flooring, countertops, and backsplash. The kitchen cabinets, you can tell, are painted. It's the old plaster throughout the property, and the upstairs layout is not very ideal. On the other end of the spectrum, I took out the way tippy top house at $575 because it just wasn't really going to be relatable for a lot of people. And so I pulled the next one down, and that was 415 Maple Ave, sold for $352K. It was a 1953 build, 2-story property, 3-bed, 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage. 2,451 square feet above grade. So a decent size house in the basement. Also had a little bit of finish with a rec room and a bathroom down there, and on a decent size lot of 0.36 acres for being in the city. It is a mix of character and modern. The modern is incorporated to still feel with the character, but that was that higher end without going to the way tippy top. Check the caption for the summary. So if you want to recap or you missed something and you want to go back and quick reference, that's where you can find it. And then join me, I think next week, where I am going to go over 2024 as a whole in summary and talk about 2025 projection. If you want to get in market update for your neighborhood, let me know. This is something that I do every winter, January, February, March, and just work through all of my people and give them their updates individually so they know what's going on. You can still get it even if you're not looking to sell, because it helps you better understand how much equity you have in your home. If you want to do something like a HELOC, or I think it's just good to know and to have a better idea of where you're at financially, or where prices have gone since you bought it. So if it's something that you want and you aren't already a part of my people, feel free to message me or you can send me an email. So I am Bethany from Addison Jones, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching.